sit here and think, I get it right all the time, okay? I never waste money or make mistakes, and that is just simply not the truth. Here are some things that if I was maybe thinking about getting them now, I probably wouldn't, okay? And there's a number of reasons as to why. It might be that I figured out that the style wasn't quite right for me, or this annoying thing about it when you use it. Stuff that really, you know, at the time I had good intentions. We all have good intentions. Okay, the heart wants what it wants. Oh, I see you there hanging on the rack, winking at me over there, right? Like, oh, this could really be something. I can see how I could integrate you into my life, and all of a sudden every room we walk into, they're like, who is that? I understand that the intention was a good one, but some things just don't work out the way we planned. So these are the luxury items that I maybe wouldn't buy second time around, and I'll go into the reasons why, and maybe also some other items that I would maybe choose instead. Guys, if you're new here, my name is Cassie and I'm a self-diagnosed luxury addict. I put out videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, so if you like luxury fashion, then you're probably going to love it here. So head down there, subscribe, turn on the bell, become a member of our luxury addicted family. When are we going to rehab? Never. I would like to start off with a pair of shoes that I recently sold. These are deemed to be quite a classic pair of shoes. Just because it works for everybody else does not mean it's going to work for you. These are the Jimmy Choo Seder heels. These were in the highest heel height. And this is the thing, on paper, you're like, this is the most Jimmy Choo Cassie shoe I've ever seen, right? It's got a fabulous little pump pointed toe. It's got a fabulous crystal anklet and tiny crystals that go down the back of the heel. Surely this can only end up being a winning situation. It just wasn't giving on me. Shocking, I know. It didn't feel right on me. I don't think the heel height was quite what I would like it to be. Maybe I would like it a little bit taller. I felt like I was like, why does this work on everybody else? Everybody else who wears these shoes, you know, like I said, it's a classic shoe style. Why not me? It didn't feel like me on the foot. It wasn't executing the way I would want it to. You know, and because you have so much going on at the ankle and the crystals down the heel, you want to show that off. So really I'm wearing this with like a skirt or a dress. And again, I would put it on and it almost felt like a little bit stuffy on me, which is weird because it's not a stuffy shoe. You know what? Some things just don't work out, and that's fine. And I'd say goodbye. Now, what would I choose instead? I'm so glad you asked. I think that my issue lies with the sort of crystals being on the back of the shoe and the ankle straps sort of combination. These are also giving classic black pointed toe with some razzle dazzle, but not in the most obvious way. Hello, the Hermes or Hamadi from Manolo Blahnik. What? Why are these not getting enough shout? Look at that absolutely fantastical crystal buckle going across the front of the foot. It almost looks like a watch. There's something very Rihanna about these shoes, and you know that just makes me love them even more. I love these. I think these are fabulous. Look at that. The heel height is probably the same, right? 100? 100? Are we 100? 105, okay? What's 5 millimeters to us, you know? But the execution is very different, and something like that would work better, and sadly now that's on my wish list. Thanks for that. The next item is a bag. This is the Ferragamo Wonder bag. And I was so excited about this bag, and this was the first collection by Maximilian Davis for the brand, and I loved it. I loved the new direction of Ferragamo. I'd never really been excited about Ferragamo before, and then I was like, yes, this is it, okay? Do not get me wrong. She is a sunsetty dream goddess, and I absolutely love the colour and the saturation of this bag. She is juicy. You've never seen this like ombre on any other bag that just looks so rich and saturated. Okay, it's not even coming up. I'm sorry, on the screen it's giving very much mustard and ketchup. That is not the case. This is just, oh, so beautifully delicious. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like a cherry and orange sort of tropical drink. Fabulous. Anyway, where is my beef with this bag? I mean, there's a reason I've not gotten rid of it, which is because I've not found any bag that could sort of compare to this in terms of top handle with like a really grey ombre in these colours, right? So fair enough. But this is a very annoying bag. So aside from its closure, which like already, I thought that was fun to begin with. First of all, I do not use this on a crossbody strap. I've tried it, it doesn't work. Because when you add the crossbody, which already has sort of an interesting formation, clasp on, because it just sort of slides onto these little clips there. If you put anything in this, okay, the way that it can sort of go is all of a sudden you'll be walking and then one of these will pop open for just like, I don't understand if it's the sort of angle at which it's hitting the body, whatever. All I know is that every time I've used it on the crossbody strap, one of these has just popped open, and that's just like, you just don't want that happening, okay? It's sort of weird, and why? And then the other thing is because of the shape of it, and you know me, I'm TBE tiny bag energy, I love a mini bag, okay? When you put things in it, you can only sort of pack it to a certain amount. It's very deceptive. Sometimes you get bags and they're so fabulously deceptive in that it looks like you can put nothing in there and oh my gosh, it can fit so much. This is the opposite, okay? Looks like you can fit a lot in there, but because it's this sort of prism, that's not a prism. What is this? Whatever shape this is, in geometry. Because of that, it sort of closes in on itself and these need to pop through. So as soon as you sort of pack it up to a certain amount and then you're sort of, as soon as you have to force these together to close, that is going to start popping open at every opportunity. So as much as I find it annoying, I do also love, like, I just think that it looks great. It really does, okay? And I mean, like, maybe I was the last person to know because you can get these freely at the outlets now. She's great. She's just annoying. I bought these Gucci jeans a few months before I moved here. So these are like, we're going on 3 years. Can you believe I've been in the US for 3 years? How crazy. This is one of those like case in point of the perils of ready to wear. I love ready to wear, and usually I am quite consistent in that the top half of my body doesn't really fluctuate in size, but the bottom half can. And also I tend to like sort of oversized, you know, here's an example, sort of styles. I will buy freely more designer tops and jackets than I will bottom, like trousers. Skirts, again, fine, right, because it's mainly on the waist. But the trousers I don't tend to do too many designer stuff. And this is probably maybe a reason why. And this is just like a sad little bit of a situation because I should have either gotten a more oversized jean style, but obviously like this only came in one style, okay? And I liked this like jacquard denim, GG, sort of greeny wash, whatever. Okay, I still think that these look great. My issue is that, yes, they are tight. And it's not even one of those things that's like, once you pretzel your body into shapes you didn't even know existed and get that top button done, that like, you're like, okay, I'm in now. No, your body's still being sort of ripped from the inside out because there is no stretch in these. And again, usually I like bottoms, trousers or whatever that have some level of stretch. Okay, that's just me. Give me a 1 or 2% elastane, please. Throw that over. This does not have that either. So yes, it's an uncomfortable situation. And then on top of that, I do feel as though these have shortened themselves. I don't know how that's possible. They've only ever been taken to dry cleaners. I don't know if shrinkage, whatever. Okay, all I know is that these are now ankle swingers. And if there is one length of trouser I intentionally veer away from, it's an ankle swinger. I don't like a culotte for the same reason. Okay, you're either to the floor or you're a short. I don't like this in-between limbo. That's just me. So I fear these have become ankle swingers. I don't know. I hold on to them because you never know. Maybe I'll wake up one day, I myself would have shrunk and these now hit the floor again. Had I known this was going to be the situation, I probably wouldn't have spent, I think these were like £800 at the time. I probably wouldn't have spent that money on these, okay? Now, if I was looking for designer jeans at the moment, I would obviously go for a style that's not as tight to the body, and Burberry has a really great pair of jeans that I also think is like a cool take on a logo jean. The EKD jeans basically have the knight printed huge going across both legs, and I'm like, that's interesting. That's not just, you know, logo. Not that I have a problem with that, you know me, I love a logo, but I do just think the Burberry take is quite an interesting, like, I like that. You don't know at the time. You don't, and you live and you learn. I have gone down this route a number of times, so I'm not going to harp on about it, but I do just want to let everybody know my stance on PVC shoes. I've tried every different fit, sling back, pump, whatever that is, right? I've tried every version of this, and the problem is that I like the juicy look too much. I like things to look delicious. That looks like a tangerine dream, don't lie to me. This looks like some sort of dragon fruit jelly. And that is what keeps me going back, even though I shouldn't. And they are not comfortable. They eat into the skin. As great as they look, you regret it every time you wear them. And so I have sort of figured out to myself that the way that I can indulge myself in this sort of gelatinous looking pieces of footwear is, Cassie, do not go for the PVC or the rubber or any of that, and instead indulge in a lucite. Okay, something like that, where I'm not having to worry about these, you know, cutting off my circulation, but I still get that sort of aquarium gummy vibe. So there we go. I've already learnt my lesson on that one, but listen, it's an important one, and with summer coming up, don't let those PVC jellies get you, okay? Especially in the heels. In the flats, I don't know, like, it's not as bad. But for example, those Chloe wedges, they're gonna start eating into your toes, and you're gonna regret it. I love this. This is the Hermes belt, right? It's the belt kit. So you buy the strip of leather that is double-sided, okay? So I can go green, I can go black, depending on the outfit, and then you buy the buckle. You can buy the leather separately, you cannot buy the buckle separately. So if you want a new buckle, you have to get the full belt kit, right? Whilst this is my most worn belt, and I love it, and I think that it's great, with the belt buckle selection that was available at the time, I'm happy I got the one I did. I will say, if I was buying a belt now, I would not buy this buckle, because I saw that another belt buckle exists, and I think that is far cooler. And I almost think that, like, I think because the Hermes H belt we've seen a lot, you know, especially with like the chunky H. And fair enough, this is not as obvious, which is also why I picked it, but it is still an H, right? And again, listen, I love a logo. I just like to pick and choose where my logos are now, right? I will never not be a logo hoe, but the logos will move around my body maybe differently than they did a few years ago. But anyway, there is now one that I think is very cool, and I actually think it lives in the men's section, and it's a horse head. And I think that that just looks much more cool. It's a solid piece of hardware, so it feels a little bit more statement-y. So like, fair enough, maybe if I, you know, was wearing a bit more of a statement outfit and wanted a bit more of a low-key belt or whatever, then maybe it's not a good idea. But I would definitely have gone for that if I had the option now. I just think that it's interesting, it's different. The way that they've done the horse is very sort of like geometric and angular, which I think, oh, like, it's a little bit edgy looking, right? So if I was in this position now, it would definitely be the horse head. Also, they do one that's like, I think it's a black and an orange. The orange is very good. Do not be shocked, because this was like a very rare colour combination. It was like limited edition. I think it was only really technically in Harrods for a certain period of time. Like, you can't really find the grey version. You can possibly find the brown in the calligraphy, right, with the gold. Now, whilst I love this bag, this is also the second version of this bag because the first version of this bag broke. And I really like the Fendi first, and I think that it is a very underrated bag style. However, like, I did some digging actually for this video because I was like, which other Fendi firsts would I have got instead? I think that they're discontinuing it because when you go on the website, there's no dedicated section to the Fendi First anymore. And when you search Fendi First, only one comes up. Potentially RIP, and I'm glad that I do have it and I won't get rid of her. But this was the only size of the Fendigraphy at the time, and this is what's now technically called the large. Since this bag came out, it then came in this sort of medium size and a small, or possibly the small was available at the time, but not in this colour combination. Anyway, I do find her a little bit cumbersome. I like using this bag on the shoulder, and I think that this size works on the shoulder, but with a big bag comes the urge to fill it. Okay, so I do put a lot of stuff in it, she then gets heavy. And then doing her as a clutch, or even just like an under the arm situation, it can weigh down on you, okay? So I do think that second time around, I would have gone one size down. I also think that it works a little bit better for like an evening-y, clutch, handheld situation in the smaller sizes. She can look a little bit bulky in the large. So that would have been my situation had I had another go, because you remember they did it in a luscious gold and a luscious silver, okay? Glorious, beautiful, really molten looking. However, now it looks like she might not be around anymore, so I'm glad I have her. But a smaller version I definitely would have used more. There we go. Let me know if you have any luxury items that second time around you probably wouldn't buy again. I am going to leave a link to another video over here in case you haven't already seen it. Have an amazing morning, afternoon or evening wherever you are, and in the words of my father,
if you've enjoyed it, tell your friends. If you haven't, keep your mouth shut.
I'll see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye guys.